Hello, beautiful human. I am Zach. That is Ann. And today we welcome to the studio for the first time ever an up-and-coming soulful pop singer who is about to hit the road with the one and only Dua Lipa. She's going to be hitting the road on the Radical Optimism Tour. Say hello to CIL, everybody.
Hey!
Hello! Thank you for having me.
Someone who vapes yet has a beautiful voice, but people use the word like raspy, husky to describe your voice.
Yeah, I mean, like, for a long time, I felt like, I have a raspy voice. I've always had one, you know? And then my family was like, well, your voice is getting really raspy because you smoke. And I was like, I don't think that that's the case. Because if you see things with me in, 3 years old, I'm, the same. I have the same voice. But, yeah, I feel like the smoking has kind of, added a little bit.
And by smoking, we mean vaping.
Vaping.
Which, by the way, it's bad.
It's bad. Don't smoke. Don't smoke. Don't smoke. I'm not saying you smoke. Yeah.
Were you able to hit a vape in Kosovo?
I was. I brought it with me. I mean, I hit it before the show, hit it after the show. I think it's become I tried to get myself to guilt quit. I was like, it's like a binky. You need to stop. You're sucking on a binky. But that didn't work either. But who knows? I'm going to try.
Life's a marathon, not a sprint. You'll figure it out in due time.
There you go. Exactly.
How was Kosovo?
It was so cool. I mean, I'd never heard of the country before.
And by the way, you're there opening for Dua Lipa.
Yeah. It was her festival, her family's festival, which was so cool. And I felt so honored that they even asked me to come. But yeah, I'd never heard of the country before. And then I went. It's one of the most beautiful places that I've ever been. And my family, they're Albanians. So it's right below Kosovo, I think. So it was cool.
Wow.
Because I felt like I was going somewhere and it felt like I was kind of connecting with my ancestors or something. But it was cool. It was really dope. It was so pretty and I had so much fun. And performing, I think it's the biggest crowd that I've ever performed in front of.
What is a music festival like in Kosovo?
It was I don't have a reference to what it was my first music festival I've ever been to, first music festival I've ever played. It was my first experience of a music festival.
Ever.
I kind of made a promise to myself I wouldn't go to Coachella until I was playing Coachella. I don't know how strict on that promise I'm going to be next year because I almost went this year. I know. But I did make the promise to myself.
I like keeping this. You should knock on that piece of wood.
I'm keeping it. Not until I play am I going to Coachella. So, but that was my promise to myself. And then, I was playing it and also being there in a music festival for the first time. I think it was a really good first music festival because there were so many people. It was beautiful. The sun was shining. The music was amazing. The other artists were incredible. I got to kind of listen through my green room. They were just amazing. And watching Dua was insane.
It's crazy, right?
Insane. She's so incredible. And we got to meet that night. It was the first time that we've met. And she was she was so sweet and so kind. But watching her on stage, it's this whole incredible thing. I was oh my God, I don't know how to treat you right now. You're so cool. Stop. She was just amazing. It was incredible.
You're going to hit the road with her?
Yeah. We're leaving September 1st is our first date.
Yo, that's soon.
It's so soon.
Wait, how are we preparing?
I mean, I decided to be I'm single, which is part of the separation. I broke up with my boyfriend.
We're shedding
skin, we're shedding things. But I decided, I was just you know what, I gotta lock in a major way. And I think that watching her show, the way that I've prepared for tours in the past, I've only been on 3 or 2. This will be my 3rd. So how I've prepared in the past is I just rehearse and whatever. But this time, especially watching her was really inspiring to me because I realized how much dedication it can take for somebody to really lock in and put on a proper good show.
Yeah.
And so this time I think I'm definitely coming at it a little bit different with preparing.
And she's locked in tens of thousands of hours doing this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can tell.
It's amazing. I had such a great experience, like watching and just seeing how she performs, and also just like the fact that this woman didn't break a single sweat on stage was insane. I was like, she's amazing. So I'm excited, and I feel inspired too, just like watching her and looking up to her too, you know?
There's no one better.
No.
Genuinely.
No.
Do you break a sweat on stage?
Yes. Well, okay. I feel like I only started to recently because I have just gotten into it more. I was like, I can dance like on stage, and I never used to do that. Like I was just like a girl who would like stand there and sing, and I was like, yeah, like I sing or whatever. But I've been like, I'm starting to like dance and move around, and I feel more confident on stage, and I think that now I'm realizing like doing that in a corset is gonna be kind of tough, but it's exciting. I feel like it's a challenge.
So you're gonna do it in a corset.
Yeah, I mean, well, we'll see. I don't know. I'm feeling out the vibes. But I just did like 2 headline shows, or my first headline shows.
I was at the one in LA.
You were there?
Yeah.
Oh my God. What did you think? Don't let me say it.
You were fucking great.
Thank you.
It was sweaty in there though. It was hot.
It was hot.
It was a hot one.
I couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
I don't know
Sweats
if you
were
could
broken.
tell, but I couldn't breathe. I was like, okay. But it was so cool.
What
I mean, like,
venue?
It was the Moroccan.
Oh, that's a hot one.
it was so fun. It was so fun because like I've never experienced a crowd of people like singing back to me like what I'm singing. Because I think early on in your career, you get into this mode of like, oh, I have to get people to care. You know, like I'm here to introduce myself in a lot of ways. And I think I went on stage with the mindset that I was going to be introducing myself again, and I got embraced in a way that I have never before, and I think I forgot from doing this for so long, and you know, whatever, that's kind of the whole point, is like you put a piece of yourself out there, you hope that it can help someone, and then you hope that they embrace you, you know? It's like, it's the purest form of love I've ever experienced in my career, which is so funny. But yeah, like it was weird and really cool and amazing at the same time, you know? And I think that it put me in a position where I was reminded of like why I do it. Because I think that in a lot of situations, you forget why you're doing this, you know?
So why do you do it?
I mean, I do it because music is the one thing that's left me back consistently in my life, I think. And I am able to give love that maybe I don't know where to place in my own personal life. Like I am able to place that love into music, and then I give it to people, and it fulfills me in a way that I don't think anything else could forever.
How does that EP, or this, don't hold me accountable, what type of love are you putting into this project in particular?
Well, I think it's the love that, it was complicated while I was writing this. I think that I love the music, don't get me wrong, and I love my music, and I love what I do, and every single song has very personal meaning to me, but I think that I had a complicated relationship with this project because it was a part of me that I was saying goodbye to. I think that I've come a long way with, you know, dealing with my emotions in an adult manner, instead of just kind of being like, fuck you, every time something bad happens. And I think I hid behind anger in a lot of ways with my music, and this was kind of a moment for me to let that go and to allow myself to shine through, even if it feels messy or if it feels embarrassing to express myself in certain ways. Like there's a song on the EP called Rhythm of Love. And that song was really hard to write because I was actually explaining how small I felt for the longest time, you know? And I think my first instinct my whole life was just to be, you know, confident and big and not let anybody, like, it was like, okay, like, I might love you, but I can get over you in 2 seconds. You know what I mean? And with this EP, I realized that that's not really the case. Like, that's not really how it goes. So it was complicated. I had to hold myself accountable in ways that I've never held myself accountable before. And I think that's kind of why I named it Don't Hold Me Accountable. It's because like I realized the only person that can do that is me.
Through your music,
Yeah.
which is cool.
Yeah. It's healing. I mean, like, I save money on therapy. I don't know if that's smart, but that's what I do. It feels like, you know, I'm able to let things go and I'm able to process things in a way that speaks to me. And then in turn, the hope is that it speaks to other people too. You know what I mean?
I mean, you're talking about going back to a really bad relationship, even though you intellectually are aware
Mm-hmm.
of everything that's wrong with it.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's tough. Like the whole thing is tough. And people understand that. They feel understood by that.
Yeah.
But are you talking about one relationship in particular, or is it a host of different ones?
Well, I mean, it's about one. I mean, like, I've only been in two, really.
Relationships could exist with friends and family and
Yeah, I think that this EP was like, you know, it was really about romantic relationships and like there have been, you know, friendships that have been complex and whatever, but like nothing really hit me in the way that it did when it came to like this particular romantic relationship that I wrote it about. I think it was just it's such a complicated place to be in. You know, on one hand you're so in love with somebody and you feel like it's you and them against the world, but then you realize that it really sometimes can turn into them keeping you from the world and them keeping you from what you're meant to do and what you're supposed to do. And it might not even be their fault. I think that's the hardest part about leaving a really toxic relationship or a really abusive relationship is that sometimes you might be so self-aware of the pain. And at least in my experience, I think what kept me there was they weren't aware of the pain that they were putting me through. So how can I hold them accountable for treating me a certain way or saying certain things to me if they're not self-aware? And
why'd you stay?
I think that it was so complex and nuanced that I couldn't leave. Like I was so wrapped up in it. And even though there were so many parts of me that knew that it was wrong, that knew that this was something that was hurting me, you know, when you're in a relationship like that, you kind of get this like, you make excuse after excuse after excuse, and then eventually you completely forget about yourself. You don't even think like how it's affecting you anymore. You're just kind of trying to survive. And I think that I tried to leave a couple times and I knew that I wasn't going to do it until I really, really wanted what was best for myself, until I loved myself again. And that's kind of a gamble, you know what I mean? You're like, okay, I'll stay until I love myself again. And I remember having that mindset for a long time. And then honestly, it's really funny because Dua, I was watching her show in Kosovo. And it was this realization. I was like, this is what I care about. This is what I do. I'm taking myself away from the one thing that I love and that has loved me back for something or someone that can't even give me the self-respect of not calling me a bitch or whatever. So yeah, in a weird way, I think it was only till recently that I feel like I've been able to come to terms with it and be like, wait a second, you're right for leaving. You're correct for leaving. You're good for leaving.
So do you end up leaving this relationship while you're making this? Or
I did. We were very on and off, and I left the relationship for like a couple of months. And all of a sudden, like all this inspiration came to me, and I wrote this entire project about this relationship. And then we ended up coming back together, and I wrote a couple more songs, which was like Pretty Years was one of those that I wrote in the relationship. You can hear in the EP, you can hear when I wrote in the relationship versus when I wrote out, which I think is interesting. Like Pretty Years was in, or was out, or in. Rhythm of Love was out. Forgot to Be My Lover was out. Liar was in. You're a Liar, You Love Me was in the relationship. And there was this, it was so chaotic, you know, writing this project.
What role does Evan Blair have in all this?
Oh, Evan, he's wonderful. I love Evan. He's such a sweetheart. He was on my ass every day, Batman. Like, Evan really like wanted what was best for me and wants what's best for me still. And like, he was very much a huge part of me going through my emotions and being able to like
talk it through, right?
Yeah.
Because he's in the room.
I mean, thank you, Evan, for the therapy. I appreciate you. Yeah, like he was in the room. He saw everything, and there were a lot of people in my life that were like, "Yo, Sil, what are you doing?" And Evan was one of them. And I think that was kind of where it was also like it was all a part of like the title of the EP. It was like I was like, "Yeah, I know it's like really bad, and I'm not in this good place." And he was like, "No, like I'm gonna push you to give a shit about yourself." That was really the thing with Evan, was like he wanted to push me to do that. And you know, I've had very complicated relationships with producers in the past, and like I've never really been able to trust a lot of them. And when Evan came along, it was like this person that I was just able to trust, and I felt like I could open up to. I think that's why we make such good music together, in my opinion.
He's really special.
He's incredible.
By the way, for context, like Evan Blair is one of the really one of the greatest songwriters and producers right now. Written for Dove Cameron, produced for Dove Cameron and Rose and Benson Boone and Nessa Barrett and Sil. He's really special.
Yeah, he's incredible. I mean, like, he always has like one thing on his mind. And that's the thing about Evan, is he's like, we're going forward. And you can come with me or you can stay behind, but I'm going forward. And I think that that inspired me a lot, because for me, I was stuck for a while in this one place. And I was like, I don't know where to go. Like, I don't know. I kind of forgot about who I was for a long time. And for somebody who's so sure of themselves 90% of the time, it was weird for me. And I remember just walking into his studio the first time we met. He was like, "So just like make me a playlist. I don't know, like it doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to whatever. Just make me a playlist and send it to me, and we'll go from there." And I was like, "Okay, like okay, big guy." Like I was like, "Whatever." And I remember I was like, "I mean, I guess like I'll trust it." So I sent him a playlist, and it was like Phil Collins and the Beach Boys, and like I think fucking who was it? REO Speedwagon was on it. Like there was all this shit on it. And then like Etta James and the Platters and whatever. And I sent him this like playlist, and he was like, "No, I get it. Like it makes sense." And I was like, "Okay, cool. Like let's do it." And we got in, and the first song we ever did was You're a Liar, You Love Me.
Wow.
And yeah, like I was so inspired by him, and he just, him being sure of himself made me sure of myself. And you need somebody like that, especially when you're making music. You need somebody who can kind of be your like guiding light when you get mixed up in all the emotions and the confusion of your own personal life. Because especially when you're writing about your own life, it's super complex and it can go a million different ways. You know what I mean? And yeah, he was really my rock during this entire experience.
What happened with previous producers that you had trouble trusting them?
Yeah, it was just like, I think that producers need to remember that they have these artists, these most of the time young girls and boys in their protection, and they're in a position of power, and you cannot take advantage of that. I mean, being an artist is already, it's hard, you know. It makes me sad, especially when I see people get like hate on the internet or like just, you know, shit on for their art. It makes me sad because I know how deeply they feel, And it's really hard to just watch artists have to go through not only being in front of a bunch of people, but also like learning how to trust other people who 90% of the time try to take advantage of them in some way. And I was just in an unfortunate position of meeting the wrong person, being in a room with them. And it was like very much a situation where I was, younger, they were older. They told me I was special and I believed them, and it got bad. You know what I mean? And I really have had a hard time trusting people since, especially in music. And it was one of the big reasons why I didn't release music for like 2 years. I didn't know where to go. I ended up like, I was on tour with Stevie Nicks at the time.
How does that happen?
Yeah, hang on. That was like, yeah. She
Wait,
basically asked, she heard my music from an agent, one of my agents. Well, now my agent, because they weren't my agent at the time. We were like trying to, I was like, okay, like, so like I need an agent or whatever. And they're like, yeah, you do, girl. And I was like, okay. And so we were like shopping and like whatever, just like talking to people very casually. And then one day I was in Joshua Tree, and I was like, that's where I go every time I get like sad or have intense shit go on in my life. I swear. It's like it's a very magical place for me. And I was in Joshua Tree, and I was like sitting in a parking lot going through this like mystery bag of like spiritual like shit. It was like stones and rocks and like evil eyes and stuff. And I was like, ooh, cute. And then I get a call from my manager at the time, and he's like, are you sitting down? Like, I just need to make sure you're sitting down. And I was like, yeah, like, am I in trouble? Like, what the fuck happened? Because that's where my mind goes. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm in trouble. But
I get that.
He was like, so Stevie Nicks wants you to open for her on her tour. And I was like, what? Because Stevie, by the way.
Dreams change your life, right?
Yeah. I mean, like, it was like the song. It was the first song I ever cried to. First song I think I ever memorized. And was like, it just did something to me. Like, it really like overtook me. And Stevie overtook me. And I loved Fleetwood Mac, and I loved especially Stevie Nicks. And when I got asked that, I was just like, this is so crazy and weird and cool. But like, there was a part of me, I think, that knew that eventually, like there was gonna be something that was gonna happen between her and I. I just felt connected to her, you know? And I think when you feel connected to certain things, whether it's music, your career, your dreams, like if it is something telling you that that's the path you're gonna go down. You know, I really believe that. And I believe in dreams, and I believe that your intuition will always tell you your future. You know, like you'll be like, well, I really want to do this, but I don't know, but I don't feel confident enough or whatever. It's like, no, but you can. You just have to go. You just have to start walking, you know? And that was like a big thing for me. And then with Stevie, like I got the chance to play in front of, I went from going on one tour that was 200 people to 400 people per room, and I was opening for the person, to then
It's crazy.
going with Stevie, and it was like 15,000 people watching you sing.
What do you learn?
Oh my God, I learned how to like grow some balls, I think. I was just like, shit, take a shot and get on stage, girl. Like, that's what you gotta do.
Literally, one more shot.
Yeah, one more shot. But yeah, like, it taught me so much. And it taught me how to be on the road. It taught me how to be with myself, how to be alone.
Wow.
And at the time, I was really struggling. I was struggling really bad with an eating disorder. Like, I've always struggled with one. But at the time, it was like really bad. And it was like kind of like the one thing I was clinging on to. And I remember being so terrified every night, so scared. I didn't feel mentally ready for it. I was like, I'm not ready for this. I remember crying and being like, I don't deserve this. I can't do this. But then you get up and you fucking go and you do it. You know what I mean? There's really, you just kind of have to go, and it healed me. I didn't know it at the time that it was, but it did. And I remember giving credit, that healing, I remember giving credit to somebody else and realizing that it was me and making the choice to follow through and to be on that tour. And I don't mean just like go up there and sing and keep my head down and whatever. I was there. I lived it. And I think that we forget, as anxious as we get, to really live in these moments. They're so important. And they're the things you're going to talk about when you're sitting down with somebody telling them your story. Like, those are the things you talk about, you know?
Very real.
It's just like, yeah, I'm really thankful to Stevie. I think that she changed my life in more ways than she knows.
What do you guys talk about?
We didn't really get to talk a whole lot on the tour because there were a bunch of COVID restrictions because, you know, they were really trying to be safe at the time. And so I wasn't really allowed to see her. But then the last night, she like made a point to see me. I was like walking off stage. I was not expecting it, nothing. She had wrote me like a letter in the middle of the tour because we weren't able to like see each other. So she just wrote me a letter. And then I saw her and she acted like she was excited to meet me. And I was like, girl, you have no idea the lore that you have in my brain right now. And I just remember, yeah, she just gave me advice. And she was like, you know, I wanted you to play San Francisco because I think it was like our last date was San Francisco. And she's like, I really wanted you to play this one in particular. Because this woman's on tour all the time. She's like never not on tour. But she's like, I really wanted you to play San Francisco because this is where we all started. And I was like, what are you talking about? We, bitch. Like, no. It was crazy. And yeah, she was like, this is where we all kind of started. And like, she was kind of telling me stories. And I was just like, wow. Like, I was this like little kid from Colorado who dropped out of high school and like didn't know what she was going to do with her life. And now I'm doing something with my life. And that was like the most important part of that entire realization was like, I'm doing something with my life. And not just that, but I'm doing something that I believe is important too.
One more shot. What is your relationship like with that song?
I love it. It's like it's my baby. I love that song. I think that like, you know, your first song that you ever put out is always, you know, I mean, I don't know how everybody else feels about it, but I love it for that reason. It's kind of the only reason I like it. Like now, I think probably is I was just sang it so much. It's you know like it's kind of second nature to me. But like I love it when I think about it, and when it comes up in a show, I'm like, this is where it all started. And I remember when I wasn't like signed to a label. I didn't whatever. I was just kind of like posting my TikToks, living out in LA. I was living in Huntington Beach at the time with my aunt and uncle, and like. I was driving 80 miles a day, I think, back and forth from LA to like do sessions. I was waking up at 6 a.m., going to my little job, coming home, making my TikToks and my da-da-da, and then going up to LA and like writing and just trying to make as much music as possible, coming home at like 2 a.m., waking up at 6, doing it all again. That was my life when I did One More Shot. I remember like it got hard. Like I was crashing out a little bit. And I just randomly one day I was like going to go up to the studio and I was like, I'm just going to post this. Fuck it, right? Like it's my own song. People like know I can sing already. Like we get it, you know? And I was like, I want to, I'm an artist. Like here I go. This is how we do it now. So I'm going to do it. And so I put it up. I turned off my phone. I wrote a pretty shitty song that day, got in my car, and I saw it kind of just like moving. And I was like, I literally looked up and I was like, all right, here we go. Like, I was literally like, I'm fucking ready. Like, let's go. And yeah, I put it out like, I think 5 days later or something.
Wow.
Like, it was so quick. Like, the turnaround was just like quick. Because obviously, like, you don't have a label involved. You don't have like people kind of telling you like, okay, this is what you need to do, and then we need to get it on this, we need to get on that. And like, thankfully my managers at the time, they were like ready too. They're like, we got it, like let's do it. And we just did it together. And then yeah, everything changed after that.
What inspired One More Shot? You like Take Back a Cheater or something?
What is it about?
Yeah, is that what inspired it?
it's like about, so I wrote it kind of like about like killing
What?
your ex. It's like about, like, it's not about that, okay?
Like
it's about figuratively, mentally killing them.
your ex.
It's like, I remember, like, I was freestyling. The song came, because that's how I started writing, was like, I just get on a mic and I just start going. And
Do you mumble or?
It's a little bit of like both. There have been times, there's this song that I wrote called Lonely Cry. I freestyled it. I got in the studio, I had like a beer. I got in the studio and I just went. I was just like, oh, whatever. And the whole song came out. Word for word. And it just like happened that way.
Interesting.
Yeah. And there are some times where I'll just mumble, but like through the mumbling, I'm very much saying something. That was how I started, and I remember like just finding my way, and One More Shot started like that.
How'd you learn that technique?
I used to hang out with a lot of kids, a lot of rappers. Like
and they do that, yeah.
Yeah, and they would just like, I remember like we would all just like kick it. We'd like go, and this was like when I first moved to LA. I was like 18. I wasn't 17 anymore. I was like 18. And so I was like hanging out with big kids, you know, because it was like loud. So I was like, I went to these like guys' houses, like I like became friends with, and they were all just hopping on the mic. It was just like one after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other. And I was like watching, and I was like, I'm gonna do it. Like, fuck it. You know, and they were kind of looking at me like, are you gonna do it or not? And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. So I got up there and I did it. And I just like, and I was like, okay, like, cool, like I did it. And, you know, that was just kind of like how my friends would do it, and that's how I did it. And like, it helped me process what I was thinking about, because I think I have this problem where I'll have it all in my head. I'll go to talk to somebody about it, and I go on like a 15-minute rant when it was like a 3-second explanation. I'm just like, I don't know. So it was just like a way to yap in like a really productive way. And I made some of my favorite songs that'll probably never see the light of day, but they're mine and they're my favorites.
Let's go back to One More Shot. So you're mumbling over the production we know today?
Mm-hmm. It was just the guitar. Like, it was like, doo, 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 doo. And I was like, and I remember, I think the first part that came to me was like, you're still doing drugs, but I like to pretend that you in the... That was the first part that I got. And then it just kind of started to flow. And I was like, all right, I want to like try to freestyle first verse. And then I did. And I was working with this girl who wrote it with me. Her name's Annika. And she was really great at just like supporting. She was like, all right, I'm going to just let you do what you got to do. She was really good at supporting that, like freestyling. And I really appreciated that from her. And then like, you know, when there were moments where it might have just been a mumble and then we'd work it out. But like, yeah, it really just started as like this kind of freestyle, and the meaning of the song was just off the dome. It's just kind of exactly how I felt in that moment.
Which is to kill your ex.
Yeah, I mean, he cheated on me, so I feel like I was kind of like, I'm not giving you one more chance. And it was kind of like the figurativeness of like, I'm killing this relationship, nail in the coffin.
Is that the relationship you would end up going back to?
No.
Oh, so you draw the line at cheating.
Right. That's what I'm fucking saying. I'm like, be for real, Sal. I swear to God, I do. It's so funny.
Hey, I mean,
it's so funny.
At least you have a line. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
No, it was crazy because like how much shit I've been through with my like second relationship. The first one I was so much harder on than the second one. I was like, goodbye, bitch. Like, I don't, fuck you. Like, you cheat on me. I think it's this thing in my brain where it's like, you can be mean to me. This is gonna sound fucked up, okay? But like, you can be mean to me and like, you can do bad shit to me. But like, in a way, I don't see that as like you not loving me. When you cheat on me, I see that you don't love me or value me.
I understand that, because the reality is like a lot of people, people are products of how they grew up. And the reality
Yeah.
of that situation is a lot of people show love by saying the meanest possible thing and them hanging around,
Yeah.
right? We realize that when you see how they treat their family or whatever the fuck, you know, and they still clearly love each other.
Yeah.
But the other side is like, it is also abusive, but there is a line to like, there's a clear definition and meaning to the action of being intimate and sharing something that's exclusive for a relationship with somebody else.
Yeah. There was a line there for me.
That's hard to justify and understand the, you know, the backstory of.
Yeah. And I think it was easy for me at the time because I thought I had been through a lot then. And then I got into my 20s. Like I was like 19 to 22. It's just a fucking shit show. I was like, what am I doing? But I needed something to cling on to, you know? And
You're very interesting. Like you left home at 17 and dropped out of high school.
yeah,
That's crazy.
it was a disaster.
Yeah. Why do you do that?
Well, I got arrested, which was like,
For what?
no comment. No, it's not that bad. It's just fucking embarrassing. And I'm never telling anybody why I got arrested.
What-
But
no.
I had a panic attack. The first time I performed in Colorado, I had a panic attack on stage.
Was that but you're used to the pressure? Was
I mean,
it?
I lived in I've lived
altitude?
here since I was 17. When I did that, I was
Oh, you're right. Your
I think
blood's
19
adjusted.
or 20. Yeah.
Wow.
I go there and I'm like, I lose my voice. I can't breathe. Yeah.
I see that. No offense. You're not selling me. I'm not going to ARC. I'm not going
Listen,
to Colorado.
My parents moved out of there. I think I don't want to shit on anywhere, but when you grow up somewhere, it can be, you have a complicated relationship with it. I think.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I just have a complicated relationship with Colorado, I think, because it was just like there were a lot of shitty experiences there, but a lot of fun ones too. It was tough. It was weird. Like growing up, I think that there was a lot of shit that happened that made me want to leave and run away, and things that like I don't even know if I have talked about to this day, you know. And then I came out here and it was like, I want to make something of myself. I don't want to end up, you know, a product. You say like a product of your environment. Like I don't want to end up like that. And, you know, I made like a very, very conscious choice to leave everything behind. And I'm thankful for what it taught me, but I'm also like thankful to let it go and not identify too much with what I went through there anymore.
How'd you know it was time to go? Was it that?
I got arrested. I was like, what the fuck? What am I doing?
See-
Like, really? I was like, you're being a fucking idiot. And it was because of the people I was around. I was around some people that just didn't want the best for me. You get around people that want the best for you, and the difference is night and day.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Versus the people that don't give a fuck about you.
Oh, you can feel it.
Yeah. And for some reason, I wrote a letter to myself. I still have it in my phone. It's like a letter to your successful self. I was 16 when I wrote it. And it's like, and I already read it, by the way. I wasn't supposed to read it until I was like, you know, whatever, where I wanted to be, but I already read it. And because I needed this like reminder, like, what am I doing here? And like, she's talking about all this stuff. I'm talking about all this stuff. And I'm like, and I say like, if you ever want to give up, if you ever feel like giving up on yourself, please don't. For me, please don't. Because I'm sitting here praying that you have done something with your life. At 16, I was like thinking about the future and whatever. And I think it's like you grow up a certain way and you have to be mature. You have to self-soothe yourself. You have to self-teach yourself. And you think about the future. And I was thinking about it and I got in trouble. And, you know, my parents, we had a complicated relationship, you know, growing up just because, like, they're your parents, you know. And they have a million children.
You're one of 7.
Yeah, 6 boys, too.
Whoa.
Mhm.
You're the only girl.
Just me, no, one of 8.
Oh.
So it's me and 7 others.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so me and my sister were the only girls. And I have, like, a bunch of brothers. And
Wow.
my brothers went through more than me. My siblings have been through so much. And, like, I love them very much. And I have always wanted to, you know, protect them. But, and that's probably my problem. Is like I grew up making, explaining behavior and understanding and deeply understanding and having to in order to like coexist. And I think that when you grow up like that, and you grow up especially in a house where like there's just so many people, there's not enough attention to go around. You become a little bit of an attention whore and a diva. And like if you want something, you have to scream. That's what I used to always say. You got to get really loud in my family if you want something. And so I lived my life that way. And I continued to live my life that way. And I think only until recently I was like, I want to be soft. I want to feel soft. I want to feel like I can worry about my career, and I want it to be the most stressful thing in my life. But it's not, you know what I mean? And I've learned how to grow away from things while still loving them. That's like what I've been trying to learn.
Can we talk about Loser?
Yeah. Let's talk about Loser.
It's a good song.
Thank you. That was a freestyle one too.
Really?
In the beginning.
So can we talk about Got the D2 Personality, a dick by design? What is D2?
Okay, I don't know if it even makes any fucking sense, but listen. It's, when like it's a D1 athlete?
Yeah. So D2, so it's a demoted tier of a penis.
Yes. It's a demoted tier of a personality.
Oh.
And you're a dick by design.
Okay, got it.
Like you're just like a dick. Like you're a dick. That's basically what I'm saying. It's like your personality is mediocre at best and you're a dick.
Got it. He's not commenting on the dick, but he is a dick.
Not commenting on the dick, but it could be D2 instead of D1. I'm just saying, you know what? That's another way to look at it. I love that. You have a D2.
Art is open for interpretation.
Yeah. Whatever you want it to be, it is.
What do you consider your pretty years?
Oh.
Right now?
No, actually. I consider, and this is something I say at my shows too, which I want to make sure people know. I don't mean when you're young, just when you're young. Yeah, when you're young, you should absolutely not waste that time on somebody who doesn't care about you. Because you have the rest of your fucking life to go through hard shit with someone, in my opinion. But it's your pretty years are every single year that you're alive. Like it's a pretty year. My pretty years are the years that I'm alive because I watched somebody very close to me pass away recently, and like that did a lot to me. I remember being like, how if I pass, let's say, when she did, I've wasted half my fucking life on you. Like that was the thing that made me realize, like, why am I wasting these beautiful years that I am alive, that I can love and have the ability to love and have the opportunity to love? Why would I waste them on somebody that doesn't? And I did. And I felt guilty for that for a long time.
You can listen to all of it, by the way. It's on Amazon Music. There's a link below. Don't hold me accountable. Everything Still's done. One more shot.
I like how on Don't Pick Up you call yourself a weak bitch.
I was a weak bitch. I was a weak bitch.
Why were you weak over this person? What was it? Was there one thing?
There were a couple things.
They were D1.
They were D1. Shit. No. Yes, but also like it was, you know what it was? I knew he was capable. Open for, for debate, I guess. But in my head, I believed with my whole heart that he was capable. And I still do. Not with me, though. Not with me. But I think that I really believed in him and I wanted to believe in him. And he was great on paper. Like, athletic, an athlete, cared about his career, really driven, whatever. Not to give him too much fucking credit or whatever. Fuck that guy. But, yeah, I just, I believed in him. And my fucking bad, I guess, So.
Bloodsucker. Great song.
Thank you.
There's a sample on there, yeah? Did you know that? Glory Box? Or is it just inspiration?
It's funny because, like, it wasn't a sample. It was inspiration. And even then, it wasn't really inspiration. Like, that song just kind of came the way it was. We weren't thinking about Glory Box at the time. Like, we weren't thinking about, like, a reference song. It really just, like, came about. And then we ended up, like, it sounded so similar after you put the two. If you put them together, like, there's, like, that. And they sound similar. But, yeah, no, we didn't use it as inspiration, which I always think is funny. Because I remember getting the call from my A&R and him being like, yeah, so we need to, like, clear that. And I was like, clear what? The fuck? I didn't even think about
But you did clear
Glory
it.
Box. We did. You know, because he told me I should. And I remember, like, yeah, I just, like, didn't even think of the song until he said we need to get it cleared. And I was like, what do you mean get it cleared? Like, what are you talking about? Get what cleared? And he was like, well, and then he sent it to me and I was like, I mean, okay. Like, again, like, I'm young. I don't give a fuck. Like, just put the fucking song out. I don't give a shit. Like, it's not about, like, I just want the song out. And, yeah, so we, like, got it cleared. But it wasn't really, like, honestly, inspiration for the song. The song I wrote at the beginning of my relationship, actually. Great tone setter for what I was about to go through. I was
or
like,
maybe
oh.
you knew it.
I think you always do. I think
Totally.
you always know. Like, I knew, but I was so confident then. And I didn't need him then. And I could just say what I wanted to say. And, like, I didn't really give a fuck.
Yeah, there's at a different stage.
Yeah, we were at a very different stage. And then things just got crazy and wild. And then it just got more complicated to write about. Because it was so confusing. And, like, relationships like that are confusing.
Real.
And, like, it's the same thing with what I went through with that producer. Like, it's confusing.
Didn't Ramy from BABYMONSTER cover Bloodsucker?
Yeah, she did.
was
All of
that?
a sudden, randomly one day, I just start, like, seeing all these YouTube comments. I'm never on my YouTube. I'm just kind of like, what the fuck? And so I press on it. It's like, the monsters, like, the Ramy one. And I was like, okay, period. And then I found the cover and I was like, oh, like, cool. Because I didn't really know what they were talking about at first.
You
Like,
just kind of flow, eh?
yeah, I was
You're an interesting one. You have you're a funny girl.
yeah, I feel like I've always, thank you. I appreciate that.
Am I wrong on that? What's your read, Carlos? Funny girl? Yeah. Funny girl.
Funny in, like, a funny way or funny in, like, a funny way?
No, that one.
Okay, the second
yeah,
one.
on a hat.
Me too.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I just didn't really know. And then like, I saw the cover and I was like, got it. Cool.
It all clicked.
It was kind of crazy. Her fans are fucking crazy.
Yeah.
They were like, by the way, it was so funny. I was like reading the comments because one day, because at the time I was living by myself and like, whatever. And so I was like, I had a lot of downtime. So I was like reading through the comments and I see this one comment. It's like, by the way, Ramy blessed you by covering your song or some shit like that. Like, I'm not going to quote it exact, but like, it was like that. And I was like, okay, period. Like, I feel so blessed.
I am blessed.
And it was like, they were just like, oh my God, girl, like, you're so fucking lucky that she fucking covered your song. And I was like, thank you. I feel lucky.
There is a reality. Like, a lot of people now discover your catalog and all your
I
music.
know. It was this tiny thing that nobody really knew was going to happen. And then it happened. And I was like,
That's where tastemakership lives these days, you know?
yeah, yeah.
When
I'm
there's
so grateful.
When there's no TRL,
It was cool.
there's an idol to help you out.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty
It was
cool.
really cool. It was cool. And like, to like see also that song reached her and it reached all these different parts of the world. I was like, that's crazy.
Music travels.
It does.
It is a universal language.
It does. And I think that has taught me to, I think I don't ever want to be more careful with the music I write because I think the whole point of me and like part of my problem and what's so exciting about me is that I genuinely will just fucking say it and I will tell you and I will open the Pandora's box of like crazy, drama shit in my life and just be open. But I think that there have been moments where I've had to recognize which emotions are genuine and which ones are just out of anger, you know?
Anger is the easiest emotion to feel.
That's my favorite emotion to feel. I'm always fucking pissed. I'm like, God damn it. I just felt like everybody did me so wrong for so long. Like, I was like, fuck.
What's your sign?
Guess, honestly, please.
Pisces.
My moon is a Pisces.
I mean, you could be a Taurus.
I'm not a Taurus.
But you're close. You're born in April.
No.
Wait, when are you born? When are you born? June. Oh
I'm a
shit,
Gemini.
you are still on the other side of Taurus, but Gemini.
Gemini. Yeah, I'm a Gemini. Gemini, Sun, Pisces, Moon, and a Capricorn rising.
Whoa.
Yeah. So I used to think I was a Sagittarius rising, and then I actually somebody read my shit and was like, "No, you're a Capricorn."
Interesting.
I was like, "Oh, so."
What do you mean, right? Like
Sanctuary was wrong.
Right.
My app. Yeah, like they tell you what your chart is and like all the whole thing. I went to this tarot reader, and she was like, "Yeah," she was really cool. She was great. Loved her.
knowledge is power, you know what I
She
mean?
told me, she was like, "Listen, the dust is going to be settling for you this year," and it did. Everything she said to me came true.
Oh, I need to give me her number after this.
I will.
Yeah, seriously.
Bree gave me her number.
Bree, what the don't
Yeah,
be
Bree.
gatekeeping.
Shout out, Brie.
Shout out, Bree.
By the way, you can listen to all of Sil's music. It's waiting for you on Amazon Music. You can listen to the first EP, Tears Dry on Their Own. Is that a nod to Amy Winehouse?
Yeah, it is.
You knew about that one.
Of course.
Okay, got it.
It was that song was my I like to say that I have outro music and intro music. So that was my outro song. I put One More Shot up on the internet, and that was the song I was listening to at the time. So it was my outro music. And then my intro music recently has been what's my intro music right now? It's Bread. What's that song by Bread? It's really famous. Whatever. I don't remember. I don't remember the song. I'm not going to
Bread?
sit here for 5 minutes. Yeah, Bread. They sing this song called
Well, you
I'm Gonna Make It With You. I'm gonna make it with you. Have you heard that song?
No.
Oh, you gotta listen to it.
I'll
It's
go
really
listen to
You
it.
do have a good voice.
good. Thank you.
Yeah, you sang a couple
Oh my-
times.
She's never heard that before.
Honestly, you'd be fucking surprised. You'd be fucking surprised. You know what? Somebody commented on my shit the other day. Because I stay reading comments. And I shouldn't.
Me too.
But I do. Somebody commented on my
It
shit.
will drive you.
Literally goes, "I've just heard her voice a million times." And I was like, bitch, let's go song for song then. How? That's what I wish. I wish I could just sometimes I have something to say to you and I just don't. Because I'm classy and I have class. And I don't comment everything I'm thinking on the internet.
Healthy.
Yeah, healthy. I feel like I'm getting really healthy recently. Just mentally, you
Yeah.
know?
It starts with Don't Hold Me Accountable.
Yes, it does.
Listen to it. It's waiting for you. You're a great guest.
Thank you so
A
much
good
for having
egg.
me.
Very talented. Please come on
Thank
our
you.
show anytime.
Oh my God, please. Thank you for having me, seriously. And
You're
I didn't
good
know you
energy.
came to the show.
I was there in the back.
Dan doesn't let anybody
We
know
could've-
he's anywhere.
We could have met and said hi
We could have,
and broke the ice.
but we did that today.
We did. That's true. Thank you for coming to the
Of
show.
course.
That's
It's great.
amazing. And thank you guys.
No, genuinely, thank you for being here. I really appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
You should listen to all the music. There's a link below. You're great. And you're going on tour with Dua Lipa. No big deal.
Yes. Here we go.
Super casual. Still everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yay!